is Harold Victor Sewanonda, and I am one of the course facilitators. With me will be other more course facilitators that will be able to facilitate us during a period of time. So this particular Paragon Rhetorica online certificate course has been organized by Debate Institute Africa, and it has been very well organized. Okay, so it has been very well organized and curated to fit the needs of every single adjudicator, even if you are starting from scratch. That is, you don't even know what public speech adjudication is, and maybe you don't even know what a speech itself is and how those tournaments take place. So this particular course has been tailored that particular way that it can be able to introduce every single person in your particular levels to how or to what public speech adjudication is. So our particular course has been split down into 3 parts. We have the starter level, we have the intermediate level, and the advanced level. So with us in this same sort of session, we have advanced adjudicators, those that have done it for 2 years plus and 3 years plus, and we have intermediate adjudicators that have done for more than 1 year, and then we have starters that have not yet done it before or that have done it for less than a year, and the program has been tailored to fit every single person's needs. So this particular program is very, very vital, and attendance is a must. So what I'm going to be doing right now is that I'm going to be sharing my screen, and I'm just going to be using a particular PDF, the actual PDF, which is more of like the precursor to this course. It's what I'm going to be sharing to every single person. So right now, if you have a good network connection, you can then be able to see a screen that has public speaking adjudication course. So today it's more of like an introduction or an orientation of what to expect in this same course. Okay, so I'm just going to be switching to that right away. All right. So as you look at the screen, this is the course guide. And in this course guide, you're going to find the course policies or the rules and regulations, the instructor profiles, so that the profiles of the people who are going to be instructing and facilitating the different modules. You're going to have the schedule. We're going to talk about the module descriptions, the learning objectives, the contacts, and then the links that you will get to the notes. And as you can be able to see on the screen, this has been organized by Debate Institute Africa, and it is actually the organization that is bringing this program right to you. So this is a table of contents. We are having a forward from the course coordinator, that is me, of course. Instructor profiles, we're going to look at the beginner class schedule, the schedule for intermediate class, advanced class, the course policies, the different modules, and the contacts. So the nature of this particular meeting is one whereby or roll call is taken automatically. So as you are in this particular meeting, roll call will automatically be taken down by the system of how many minutes you have been inside, and that then will depend on, and that then will be able to decide on whether you have been able to fully participate in this particular session. So then this is the forward or the welcoming remarks. So dear aspiring adjudicators, we welcome you to the realm where words dance and ideas soar. So as a fellow enthusiast of spoken word, I am excited to present this course that has been crafted with the aspiration to elevate the standards of public speaking across the circuit. So as you pursue excellence, this course in and of itself serves as both campus and companion, guiding you through the nuances of adjudication from the fundamentals to the finer intricacies. So whether you are a novice engager, eager to explore the depths of public speaking, or a seasoned adjudicator that is seeking to hone your craft, this manual is one that offers a wealth of insights and practical wisdom for you. So as we delve into the course, may you find inspiration, enlightenment, and the courage to champion the art of public speaking. So this has been a forward from Harold Victor Sewanonda, aka the Chief Sensei, the top striker, and the mantra is resilience, resolve, and mastery. So with me on this same program, I'm not going to be working alone. I'm going to be working with another particularly very, very, very talented young lady, very well known in the art of public speaking across the whole African continent, and she is known as Miriam Rioba. So Miriam Ryoba is a renowned public speaking coach, an adjudicator, and also as a speaker. Maseke Ryoba Miriam has a string of many accolades to her name. And beyond her accomplishments as a speaker, she has also left an indelible mark as an adjudicator. Right now, she serves as the program officer for the East Africa Future Elect. And if you can have a look at her speaking achievements, she has been one of the best female, she has been the best female public speaker of the Pan-African University Debate Championships of 2018. So for those that don't know what the Pan-African University Debate Championships are, that is PAUDC, it is more like the Champions League of the entire African continent. And then she has been a public speaking champion at Scholars Festival, Best Female Speaker and First Runners-Up at UDN 2018, and Public Speaking Champion of Royal Rhetorics 2020. And in her adjudication achievements, she has quite a lot. She has been a chief adjudicator public speaking for the East African University Debate Championships, a chief adjudicator public speaking for the Scholars Festival 2019. She has been a chief adjudicator public speaking for El Pal in Uganda. That is the only, a females only tournament for both the years of 2020 and 2022. And trust me, her own CV or reputation precedes her, because what then you see here is only a drop in the ocean. Because some people, if you are to put their entire CV on a sheet of paper, they could actually fill it up. Okay, so with us, the other trainer we shall be having is one that very many of you during your initial stages of registering for this program asked to be introduced to this particular program, and that's none other than Adungo David Onyogo. So for those that have been knowing him, David has been doing public speaking, he participating, and he has also been an adjudicator from ever since 2018. So he's actually he has been a speaker since 2018 and an adjudicator or a trainer and a coach from since 2019. So he holds a bachelor's degree in arts with education. As you can see him, very handsome man right there. Okay, and currently is a practicing economics and geography teacher, as well as a debate, speech, and poetry as co-curricular disciplines at Medina Islamic Secondary School in Sanji. So additionally, he has also been the very first Ugandan public speaking lecturer with Kairos International Buya in 2021, where he teaches the art of public speaking up to date. So when it comes to the African public speaking space, David Onyogo has served as a chief adjudicator for over 15 tournaments since 2020. And by the way, makes it very serious that Arsenal is his blood and his one true love. Now, apart from David Onyogo, we're going to have another gentleman all the way from Kenya, apart from Miriam Ryoba, who too is from Kenya. He's known as Kanda Brian Kipto. So Kanda Brian Kipto is a dedicated MA literature student at Moi University and an intern at African Multiple Cluster Center. He is also a social media manager at Oration Hub. Oration Hub is a particular place or space where whereby different people within Kenya and East Africa come together for public speaking. So it is like a training club and a hub. So additionally, he has also been on different CAP teams, those are the co-adjudication panels of different public speaking tournaments. The most notable one was the Ignite Debate Open that was for the whole Africa, and with very many within Kenya and including Mashuja in and of itself, he has adjudicated and he has 4+ years of experience in this particular art. Now, the next person is one me and Tahinduka Joseph Gracious have called the legend, the man, and the myth. He's known as Elijah Bakari. So Elijah Bakari holds a BSc in electronic and computer engineering and specializes in automation and renewable energy. He's also an AI enthusiast and he is also a researcher. But apart from that, over the period of time, I think apart from Miriam Ryoba and Elijah Bakari, they are the only two who have done the art of public speaking for quite over a decade. And over that period, he has trained participants and judges, many of whom have gone on to win various competitions as well as professional awards. And here are just some of his more recent engagements. And mind you, the keyword is that these are his more recent engagements. He has quite a number. He has been on CAP, which is known as the co-adjudication panel for public speech for the East African University Debate Championships of 2024. In fact, they are yet to happen, and he is the chief adjudicator for that particular tournament. He has been CAP on East African World School Debating Championships, CAP for public speech still on Mashuja schools. And then he has also been on the Nairobi Open, Mwalimu Nyerere Invitational. He has been on PS Cup. He has done quite a number of tournaments, and very many things are under his belt. To speak about him is me taking quite up close to 30 minutes. And now after Elijah Bakari, we have a certain young lady. She's known as Watch Gracious Faith. Watch Gracious Faith is going to be one of the trainers, and she works quite closely with Debate Institute Africa. She's going to be taking us through a particular course unit that I will be able to describe later on. But if I'm to describe Gracious Faith Watch, it's quite a lot she has achieved as a young lady. She is a yearly alumnus. She has been both a debate and public speaking adjudicator. She has been a trainer at Kaboja International School, and she is actually their current public speaking and debating coach. So she will be joining us also in this particular program. Okay, so let me just try to zoom in my screen a little bit, just so everyone can be able to see what's going on. Okay, I believe everyone is now able to see quite well. Just a moment. All right. So, and at the same time, she's a public health officer with high interest in nutrition and global health. And lastly, before I forget, lest wherever she is, she strikes me down. Gracious Faith Award is a committed Christian who ardently believes in the importance of values in every person's lives as an important anchor for their life. So after doing that, we're just going to be going through. Okay, just a moment. All right. All right, so I've been able to show you the different course facilitators. So after here, we are just going to be, just a moment. Okay. All right, so we're going to be going through the actual schedule of the tournament. So that's what we're going to be looking at. Just a little bit of moments. Okay, so just to recap for those that have just joined us right now, we have already kickstarted the orientation in and of itself, and I was just about introducing the course that we are going to be dealing with, and I told everyone to look at the community group. And inside that community group is where we are going to be looking at the manual that has been shared right there. Okay, so I'm just going to share it one more time, just so we are all at par, and then we can all be able to relate quite perfectly well. Okay, so in the meantime, Joanna, Simo, your camera is on. You really want to turn it off. Okay, Joanna, Simo, if you can hear me, your camera is on. Kindly tap it, turn it off, tap on that video sort of. Okay, perfect. Nice then, surely. So let me just get back to sharing my screen just a little bit. Okay, so then we had just finished with Gracious Faith Award. And for those that have just joined us, I've been telling everyone, I've been introducing the different program coordinators. And right now we are getting into the actual schedule. So like I said, we have beginner class, we have intermediate class and advanced class. And in beginner stroke starter class is going to have a total of 8 sessions, unlike the other classes. But the sessions you see that have an asterisk, or you can call it a star, or in Uganda you can call it kamunyenye, those sessions are very, very compulsory for every single person to attend. That is the session for tomorrow, that is 11th May. The session for Tuesday, that is 14th May. The session for Tuesday, that is 14th May. The session for Friday, 17th May. For Sunday, 19th May. And for Monday, 20th May. Those are the compulsory sessions, and every single class, whether starter, intermediate, or advanced, have to attend those particular sessions. So as you can see, still on our schedule, today is Friday, it is the training orientation, and every single class is going to be taking place from 8 p.m. up to 10 p.m. So it's going to be from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. We shall use Google Meet, and I will be scheduling the links, and the team at Debate Institute Africa will also be helping with that. But one more important aspect that I'm going to be talking about is that before we begin every session or every class, every single member of that class will be able to fill in a baseline survey. It will be a form, a very quick form. It only takes you 30 minutes to be able to fill it in. And if you don't fill it in, the repercussions are going to be quite dire. I should just put it seriously to every single person here, ladies and gentlemen, that for the smooth running of this entire course, or for it to be facilitated well, we need to be able to uphold to certain rules and standards, and that is why this orientation is important. Now, at a point in time, if any of the policies that I want to talk to you are broken, then someone will get off the program automatically. Okay, so let us move on. So beginner class is going to have 8 sessions, whereas intermediate class will have 7 sessions. Okay, someone says they can't hear me. I want to confirm. Okay, someone says, Ketchel says they can hear me, so I think it is their network. Okay, let me proceed. Like Tahinduka has been able to say, the baselines are going to be like 5 minutes only. So you only take 5 minutes to fill in a baseline survey. They're going to be questions that are asked unto the different people to be able to assess, have you been able to learn from this particular course, or are we not doing a good job as the facilitators or as the organizers of the course itself? Okay, so I'm just going to be proceeding with the next sort of class. So beginner is going to have up to 8 sessions. Why? It's not because we really hate beginner, but it is simply because for a person who is starting from scratch, they need enough time. And part of the beginner class is that we're going to have mentorship, and that mentorship is going to be done by 3 people that are well advanced in this art, that are part of the advanced class. So those 3 people, one of them is going to be Mr. Wangusa Hashim Otahunga, that was also requested by some of you in the Google form registration links as one of the people who should train you. The other one is going to be Her Excellency Ayaro Martha Angela, and lastly, Finian Kangwamu. So they're just going to be people who are going to form up mentorship groups that are going to be able to help mentor the beginner class. So those extra sessions you see right there that are not marked off with an asterisk, like May 13th, like May 16th, May 18th, and so on and so forth, are going to be run by the different mentors that are going to come from the advanced class. That is Mr. Wangusa Otahunga Abdul Majid, a serious Muslim who doesn't have any single sort of Christian name. The other one is Her Excellency Ayaro Martha Angela, and lastly, it's going to be Finian Kangwamu. They will be introduced to the beginner class in their particular sessions. Okay, after beginner schedule is done, we look at the intermediate class schedule. So the people who are part of intermediate are going to have compulsory schedules. They're not going to have as many as beginner. They will only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sessions. And out of these 6 sessions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them are compulsory, which means that they have to attend on May 11th as a must, that is tomorrow, Saturday. Then on Tuesday as a must, that will be May 14th. Then on Friday as a must, that will be May 17th. And then Saturday, that will be 18th. That is somehow it is partially optional. And then lastly, it will be on May 20th. So whatever is marked with an asterisk is a must to attend for the intermediate class. Now, intermediate class has 1 session less than starter class, because we also acknowledge the fact that they have also covered part of this particular art, and as thus we shall only have 1 session. And the people who are going to be taking us through, this particular class, the intermediate class, it's going to be one of the people from advanced that will be able to try to mentor in the intermediate, and I believe that will be Ayaro Martha Angela. Okay, so, and just to repeat or to emphasize, baseline surveys that we're going to carry out are assessments that are going to be conducted at the beginning of a class to establish a starting point against which progress and outcomes can be weighed. I hope that then is gotten right well. Okay, so to proceed, just a moment. Okay, sure, so I'll proceed. Okay, let us move now to the advanced class schedule. So under the advanced class schedule, advanced will only have fewer sessions, and all their sessions will be compulsory. So they will have the May 11th session, the Tuesday session, the Friday, the Sunday, and the Monday. So that is 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5 sessions. But part of the people who are doing advanced will be those that, part of the guys who are doing advanced will be those that are very much, are the ones that are going to be mentoring intermediate and beginner in their extra sessions. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the screen, if you see May 10th, 11th, 14th, 17th, and 19th, and 20th, all these are compulsory sessions. So what is going to happen is that it is a must to attend these sessions. And on these particular sessions, we're going to cover critical parts and the facilitators that have been able to talk to you. That is Miriam Rioba, that is Bakare Eli, Sewanonda Harold, Adungo David Onyogo, and Kanda Brian, and lastly, Gracious Faith Ewach will be able to cover all these particular sessions. So it is quite a must that you make sure that you make it on that particular day. So after looking at the different class schedules, I'm just going to be going through the course policies, and this is going to be more of a framework on how this course is going to be conducted. Now, the very first one is the attendance policy. Participants must attend all sessions of their respective class. Minimum is 80% attendance is what is required. In terms of missing major sessions is not allowed. So the 80% must cover those major sessions. The major sessions are the ones that have been able to show you that have an asterisk on top. The other thing is that the major sessions are marked with an asterisk on the schedule and they are compulsory. Now, apart from the attendance policy, we also have a testing policy. And under this testing policy, participants must take and pass tests after each particular module. So that is why when you look at the beginner schedule, just to go back a little bit up, we are having the first session happening on May 11th and the next session happening on May 13th. So which means that there is a day in between. That day in between is to do tests, because every after a module, we shall be giving you at least a day to go back and do a test, and the tests are going to be set and they'll be in form of Google links. So these particular tests are compulsory to be done by every single person, and failure to do these particular tests, this is the testing policy, will result into being removed from the program. Now, participants must take and pass tests given every after a module, and failure to take or pass these tests will result in removal from the program. Now, apart from the test policy and the attendance policy that says you must attend 80% of all the programs, but the major sessions which are marked with a star or an asterisk on the schedule are those that are compulsory. Now, the next thing is the pre-survey or the survey baseline policy I have to talk about. And in this particular policy, participants must fill in pre-surveys. It is a must before the start of each module or class. Failure to complete the pre-surveys will result in not being allowed to participate in the program further. And we are going to have quite a number of our people being kicked off the program due to failure to adhere to these small policies. The very first one is the attendance policy, the testing policy, and the pre-survey policy. And still under attendance policy, I would like to bring it to your attention, good ladies and gentlemen, that every single roll call on Google Meet is done by an automatic AI tool that is able to record your particular account and how much time you spend on the call. So this is important for us to be able to sieve the jokers from those that are particularly serious with this particular course. And this course is one that you really want to take seriously. That is if we are to get certification at the end of the day. Now, the other one is the behavioral policy. So respectful behavior towards instructors and fellow participants is mandatory. Any form of harassment or disruptive behavior will not be tolerated and may result in removal from the program. So very many of us are free to banter as we want within the groups in and of themselves, but at a point in time that you are able to disrespect any other person, the organization committee will take disciplinary proceedings against you. Now, the other one is the technology policy. So participants are responsible for ensuring they have access to the necessary technology. That is to say, a very good internet connection and devices for attending sessions and completing assignments. So technical issues should be reported promptly to the course administrator for assistance. So in case you have any technical issues, you need to report them promptly to I myself or to Joseph Tahinduka or to Arinda Sevia Biamugisha. I will be able to tag their contacts within the main group so that in case you have any sort of issues prior to the particular program that you want to communicate, you then make it get known. Then the other one is the late work policy. It is a must that assignments and tests must be submitted by the specified deadlines. So late submission. Okay, I want to be sure I am very much heard. Could someone just kindly signal to me, or they could use emojis to show me that?
Sir. Yes,
okay,
you are audible.
All right, thank you so much, sir.
Loud and clear.
Okay, so the other one is the late work policy, and the assignments that are going to be given to the different people are going to be timed, and they will close at a certain date. So you want to be sure that you don't submit things in late, and late submissions may incur penalties or may not be accepted depending on the instructor's discretion. Finally, under the policies is the code of conduct. And under the code of conduct, participants are expected to adhere to a code of conduct that promotes a respectful and inclusive learning environment. So violation of the code of conduct may result in disciplinary action, including removal from the program. So participants are expected to adhere to these policies to maintain their enrollment in the public speaking adjudication certification program. So I have been able to go through the different policies, the different course policies, and these course policies in and of themselves are a must for every single person, whether in beginner, in intermediate, or in advanced class, to be able to adhere to. So what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to go through them one more time, just so that we are all at par. So our very first policy, if you can look at my shared screen, is the attendance policy. And participants ought to attend all sessions of their respective class. The minimum is 80% attendance is what is required, and missing major sessions is not allowed. So when you look at your different class schedules, the major sessions are those that are marked with a star or an asterisk on the schedule, and these are very compulsory. Now, apart from the attendance policy, even when it comes to Google Meet, there is an automatic AI tool that is able to detect every single person that was on the call and for the period of time they were on the call. So even if you have network issues and you keep going off, or you go off once and then you come back on, it still goes on to record the total amount of time you spent on the call. So you want to be sure to attend all these classes promptly, because admin will be able to assess the meeting based on a spreadsheet that will be generated by the AI tool that talks about the attendance policy. Okay, now let us go to the testing policy. Under testing policy, participants must take and pass tests that are given after every single module. So failure to take or pass these tests will result in removal from the program. So every after we are done with a module, and the module is more like our course outline, and these modules are going to be taken over by different facilitators. Like I've been able to tell you, for those that have just joined, we have facilitators from Kenya, that is Bakari Elijah. Then we have Miriam Rio Bastil from Kenya, then Kanda Kiptobran from Kenya. There's Adungo Onyogo from Uganda and Arsenal, and then there's Harold from Uganda, and lastly Gracious from Uganda. So all these particular facilitators will be able to set tests that are going to be given to the participants. So, and every after a session, we shall be leaving at least one session free that you can then use to be able to do these particular tests that will be given in form of quizzes and Google Forms and interactive modules. Now, apart from the testing policy is the pre-survey policy. And under this, participants must fill in pre-surveys before the start of each module. So these pre-survey or baseline surveys are a mandate. As a must before the start of each module, they will be released at least 2 hours or 1 hour before time, and they will take you at least 5 minutes to be able to fill them in. So they help us to be able to assess as a team, and as Debate Institute Africa, to be able to assess the quality of these particular sessions. Okay, then the other thing is the failure to complete these pre-surveys will result in not being allowed to participate further in the program. The last one, the third last one, is the behavioral policy. Here, respectful behavior towards instructors and fellow participants is mandatory, and any form of harassment or disruptive behavior will not be tolerated and may result in removal from the program. The other one is the technology policy, and in this one, the participants are responsible for ensuring that they have access to the necessary technology, for example, a good internet connection and good devices for attending sessions and completing of assignments. And lastly, under technology policy is that technical issues should be reported promptly to the course administrator for assistance. Now, the other one is the late work policy, and this one simply states that assignments and tests must be submitted by the specified deadlines, and late submissions will incur penalties or may not be accepted depending on the instructor's discretion. Finally is the code of conduct, and we expect all participants to adhere to a code of conduct that promotes a respectful and inclusive learning environment. Violation of the code of conduct may result in disciplinary action, including removal from the program. So this should be a disclaimer that as Paragon Rhetorical Certificate course coordinators and organizers of this course, our jurisdiction goes as far as what happens within our WhatsApp groups, that is within advanced, intermediate, beginner, the mentorship groups, and the main group or the main community. Any particular sort of harassment or communication that happens outside these groups is not that which then we can control, and we urge every single person to then be careful on the nature of messages or the people that reach out to them in their inbox. And there is no particular sort of fee that is tied to this particular program. It is free of charge, but that comes with a price or a great responsibility of making sure that it runs smoothly, it is quality in nature, and everyone attends. What that means is that participants are expected to adhere to all the course policies to maintain their enrollment in the public speaking adjudication certificate training program. Okay, now let us go through the different modules, all our sort of course units. Module number 1 is going to talk about introduction to public speaking adjudication, and it will be held Saturday, that is actually tomorrow. And in this particular module, you will discover how public speaking competitions are conducted from scratch. So even if you are a person here who has done anything to do with public speech, from scratch, you will be able to learn how public speaking competitions are conducted, the roles of adjudicators in these setups, the various tasks in public speaking tournaments. What are tasks? What is a task in the first place? What is the role of an adjudicator? Who is a chief adjudicator? What does stab mean? What is public speaking? What is a speech? Then common terminology we use in public speech tournaments. You are going to be able to learn all that in the very first module, which is the introduction to public speaking adjudication. You will also look at the impact you will have as a public speaking adjudicator in your community. And this module will be covered by the chief sensei, the Batman, the man, the myth, the legend, Harold Victor Sewanonda, who of course is a Man City fan, terribly bad for Manchester United fans. Then the second module will look at assessment criteria and techniques for evaluating speeches based on those particular standards. And this is one of the most important modules. You're going to look at assessment of content, of delivery, of language. And this is going to be taken by Elijah Bakari. And for those that have just joined us, Elijah Bakari is the current CA or Chief Adjudicator for East African University Debate Championship 2024. He has been on CAP for PANS, CAP for Mashuja, and he has over a decade of experience in the art of oration and public speech. So in this module, you will discover the criteria used in judging public speech, the importance of the different criteria in adjudication, how to score different types of criteria in adjudication, the different kinds of scales used by different competitions in scoring, the guidelines for scoring different criteria, the practice exercises for scoring different criteria, and lastly, the scoring ranges and how to use them in adjudication. Now, after you are done with module 2, we shall have module 3. And these modules I'm going through are the compulsory modules. And in module 3, you will have the instructor who will be a Watch Gracious Faith, but she'll not be working alone. She'll also be working with Kanda Brian Kipto. And with this, we're going to be able to cover, and this is one of the most important modules to Debate Institute Africa, the module to deal with adjudicator ethics, and professionalism. So in this module, you will discover the ethical principles that apply to adjudication. So understanding, you'll also get an understanding of safeguarding and the child protection policy. So at Debate Institute Africa, we take our child protection policy as something very, very critical, and this will be enunciated in great detail by a Watch Gracious Faith. Now, apart from this, we shall also be looking at the vulnerability and abuse, responding to and reporting abuse during these tournaments, legal and ethical considerations of when you are judging. And mind you, when you are judging, you are in a place of a role model, and you owe a duty of care to the people you are judging, and as thus, you can actually be seriously accused or seriously convicted of sexual assault or anything of the sort. Mind you, we are going to be doing this tournament or these training judges that will be able to judge in the subsequent Paragon Rhetorical Regionals. So far, we had the Central Regionals that happened on April 6th, and on April, I believe, just a month ago, I think April 6th, that is when we had the regionals that were actually happening, and we began with Central Region. We had quite a number of schools that showed up, and I was there amongst other adjudicators. So the program will stretch to other regionals within Uganda, and lastly, we shall have a nationals. So what this means is that you're going to be interacting with different students from different backgrounds, and this particular child protection policy, adjudicator ethics, and professionalism are quite needed for you to be able to continue judging on this program. Then the other module, which is module 4, is providing meaningful and constructive feedback to public speakers. So in this module, it's going to be facilitated or instructed by Miriam Rioba. And the link for the notes will be provided unto everyone that will need them. So in this module, you will discover how to prepare for a competition as an adjudicator, how to deliver good feedback for continuous improvement. You will learn how different strategies for helping speakers to improve, and then how to get feedback as an adjudicator. You will also learn the value of incorporating feedback into future adjudication. And one other thing that you will be able to learn is how do you train speakers? Because as an adjudicator, time will come and you need to coach public speakers who are going to partake in competitions and those that reach out to you for their own self-development. Everything is going to be taught in this particular module that is going to look at providing meaningful and constructive feedback to public speakers. And just a little bit of a bonus, one thing we need to learn and we shall understand as we go forward is that being a public speaking adjudicator necessitates you to be a good communicator. So you cannot be a good adjudicator without being a good communicator. Now, the last one is going to be module 5, and this looks at how to judge special topics in adjudication. There are examples of various special topics that happen in adjudication. Some of these topics are not, for example, are not limited, and they include storytelling, pitches, eulogies, topics to do with brain training and creativity in public speech. So these particular special topics are going to be handled by an expert, that is Adungo David Onyogo. Okay, so Adungo David Onyogo is going to be taking us through this manual, and in this module, you will discover how to judge creativity, special considerations for storytelling, special considerations for pitches, special considerations for echoes of eternity speeches, and special considerations for different special occasion speeches. Now, if you notice if for those that have been perspicacious enough, the kinds of tasks that I'm going to be able to cover tomorrow when introducing everyone to public speaking from scratch are those particular tasks that are special to this particular tournament known as Paragon Rhetorica. And those particular special tasks will all be covered in great detail by Adungo David Onyogo. So that now marks at least the end of this particular manual that has been able to take us or to show us what we are going to be covering in the entire course. So I'm just going to be doing a very brief recap of everything that I've been able to say in a paraphrased format. So if you can still look at the screen, we are looking at the public speaking adjudicator course or the course outline and every single thing you are going to expect in this particular course. So for those that have just joined the call right now, I'm just going through this one more time. And when this is done, I will try to see if there are any sort of questions that anyone has or on particular things that I can draw clarity on. And I will also be able to give any particular person a chance. I believe Joseph Tahiduka may want to be able to communicate as the quality director for Debates with Africa. And I will also give chance to Arinda Xavier if he's online to be able to also communicate to everyone. But nonetheless, I'm just going to be going through this one more time. Okay. So first and foremost, we are looking at public speaking adjudication course. So in this public speaking adjudication course, we're going to look at, or we have looked at the different course policies, the instructor profiles, the schedule for the whole training that is going to take part for a span of 10 days until 20th May, the different module descriptions, the learning objectives, the contacts, and the different links to the notes that will be used for all these different guides. So first and foremost, we shall begin with the table of contents, and the